Hello and welcome back to the Mars Mission News Network, bringing you all the latest news from LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed. We have a large selection of snips from the recent patch notes from today, and we're just going to go on into it. I'm just going to try to just talk somewhat briefly about all of them, but might go in depth on some of them. Feel free to pause this as we go along. Anything you think is a little bit more interesting. I'm not going to try to make this video too long. We just have a basic little introduction. Nothing too special, but you do have this thing down here, the third one, mentioning who the different kind of people are. These two other names, which you might not see very often in these news videos, are some of the designers. So if you see messages from them, that's who they are. But getting into it, what sort of event are we going to have? We're having two unboxed events, one brick pace event, and a master event. All 5 minifigures will be available over a 1 month period. Let's see, the brick pace and master will be reoccurring, so you can get these figs again when they come back. And the full event will last for just over a month, which I guess makes sense. You have a couple unbox, a brick pace, master that kind of starts to add up after a while. The master event will require the other 4 Ghostbusters, which is going to be a little bit of a change, because most of them require 5-person team and a set. This will require a 4-person team and a set. Let's see, they're also going to have 2 figs available in the brick pace and 2 available in different unboxed events. And let's see, this brick pace will last longer, and the minifigures are lower level unlocks, so it's easier to get them from this brick pace, and it will last at least a decent bit longer. Don't know what all that entails. We get them for 10 days now, so maybe 15 days, 2 weeks, I don't know. Let's see, yes, this will have chapters like the Imperial brick pace, but they have changed a lot so it plays better with more attempts. Nobody liked the brick Imperial format, so it has been changed. It still has normal nodes, it was more hard node attempts, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that also means they will change that one whenever they want to rerun it, which that one really needs to be changed a lot before they do it again. But this will have something of a similar format, which is maybe a little bit scary, but hopefully not going to be too bad. And let's see, about the difficulty. According to Little Wooden Boy, he can unlock the Master Fig with the, and of course the Master Fig is Slimer. They were able to unlock them with a 5-star Ghostbusters team. The brick pace is apparently going to be a little bit easier than the last one. It's going to be difficult, but it's going to be, they made it easier, so I'm not sure what all that entirely means. But it's easier, but still going to be challenging. The battles are going to be diverse for the master event, but they're going to be a lot more Ninjago, Spooky, and Pirate minifigures, which apparently the Ghostbusters are supposed to kind of counter a little bit of. So, if you don't like them, you'll be seeing more of them. Let's see, and then of course some changes with the master event. Oh, well, sorry, some clarifications there about when you'll get higher tiers to unlock for the fig. Although I don't think anybody would. Too many people are going to be able to get a 6 or 7-star Slimer anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But they want to add higher caps to the master event whenever they rerun it, but it depends on if they have level caps and gear updates, that sort of thing. The hub world is going to change like the DigiJ event, which I think will be very cool. Really looking forward to seeing what it will look like. Hopefully like a bunch of ghosts and stuff going around. I thought the DigiJ change was pretty cool, and I'm happy they're doing some more stuff like that. The update will come soon. They don't know for sure because they're still finishing quality assurance, and they can't give a specific date. Also, they have to, like, I'm assuming, check in with some other third parties to make sure they can launch it. And the Ghostbusters will have a theme tag. Each fig will be tagged Ghostbusters, but they're not going to be music, which will be explained a little bit more later, but that's more in the content creator section. So no Ghostbusters theme, sadly, but there will be a theme tag for them. And let's see, the tags, the Ghostbusters will all be Explorer, and they of course all have Ghostbusters, but they'll also have a cross-theme tag that lets them work with other teams. Apparently there's going to be some synergy there with some of the other tags. I'm curious what that would be. Apparently one at least might have a city tag. See, the new minifigures will be farmable in the Brix shop. The brick paste shop. So all 4 figs will be available in the brick paste shop, even though 2 of them are master events, so you get them at, I guess, a 2-star unlock. but then you can go in there and get you extra tiles for them, so it's not just going to be based off of the unboxed event. And of course the master event will be Slimer. The Ecto 1 is going to be a free gift early on, but will also be farmable in the Brick Paste shop. It will also get its own special neighborhood of a licensed neighborhood, but more on that later. And Ghostbusters will counter Ninjago by Egon. Has some anti-stealth stuff in his abilities, and he also deals extra bonus damage based on the number of foes with stealth. So he'll be good against ninjas or anybody with stealth. Interestingly enough, he's also a support healer. Support that's also a healer, but he's also the main damage dealer against them. That's going to be a little bit funky there. And then of course, he does other things besides just bonus stealth damage, but I don't want to give it all away yet. And the Ghostbusters will apparently be pretty good against pirates, but it's about a 50-50 toss-up. They've been working on Ghostbusters for a long time. They've been working on licensing with Sony for almost a year. And they started designing them around almost the release of the game, which I'm assuming means actual global release and not soft launch release. They will have some anti-spooky synergies, so probably like extra damage per spooky tag, or this fig is tagged spooky, deals extra damage or extra debuffs, something like that. Some of the figs are tagged spooky, but not all of them. And then, why were Ghostbusters chosen to be added in the first place? Which is a solid question. I mean, I kind of like them, but don't care for them that much. Well, they were chosen because they have a great fit with their nostalgic aspect of the game, and they also make a full team of 5. Also, I'm just calling this now. Scooby-Doo is going to be added, maybe one of the next ones. That would be some more kind of spooky stuff. That's a full team of 5. That's also nostalgic, so hold me to that. Scooby-Doo will be added to this game. Feel free to quote me on that. And to see some people concerned about them releasing some spooky counters, because this team will be countering spooky a little bit before most people even have a spooky team. And they said it did not make sense to have spooky or the Ghostbusters added and not be anti-spooky. But they also made sure they were good against Ninjago and pirates, since most people don't have a spooky team, so you don't really need a team to counter them. One of the figs will have an ultimate, but the ultimate will get bonus damage and some other stuff with the more Ghostbuster tags fig on the team, which makes sense. Also, apparently it's supposed to be like crossing the streams, so maybe the animation might even change depending on the more ones you have active. I don't know. But just keep that in mind. Only one of them will have an ultimate, or they've only confirmed one ultimate so far. One for the Ghostbusters themselves. Maybe Slimer might have one, but seems unlikely. Egon is the healer, technically, and we'll likely see the kits next week, which almost makes it sound like they're not for sure releasing next week. So just keep that in mind. Some of the figs will be useful outside of the Ghostbusters team based off of the synergy. The general description of each team member. Peter Venkman is an attacker hero. Of course, he likes to hit on people. Ray Stantz is a support hero. Well, he's a nerd. Okay. Winston Zedmore is a tank hero. He's courageous. I guess it kind of makes sense. Egon is a support hero. He's also a damage dealer and a healer, but that sounds about right for a support unit. And Slimer is attacker, which, I guess makes sense. He might be a little offensive. And the Firehouse set is not coming. They tried, but has too many bricks for the game engine to handle, which, I mean, I guess makes sense. It's like, maybe it was a $300, $250 set. I think like a couple thousand pieces. That might be a little bit harder for the game to handle. And according to Little Wooden Boy, the best one they thought was Slimer, because he's the toughest, but Egon's a minifigure that most ties the Ghostbusters together, which is interesting. Okay, and then we have, somebody was asking about what the star unlocks, because they said they were lower. Peter and Ray will both be 1 stars, which I'm assuming means they'll be the unboxed fig, because you get them at 1 star, although you also get enough tiles to get them 2 star, but that's a 1 star unlock. Winston and Egon are 2 stars, so I'm assuming that's more brick paste right here, especially Egon sounds like the more premium one, with an ultimate and all that kind of stuff. The healer and the one that ties the team together. Slimer's a 5 star, of course he's a master event, and the Ecto 1's a 1 star unlock. People were talking about nerfing Willa and Basil because they can be a little bit annoying to fight, but they said the Ghostbusters can defeat them. It can be a little tricky because they're spooky, they can do it. And how complex would the kits be for the characters, and how many of them have different skills? All of them have 4 skills or abilities, but Egon has 5, which it seems very likely that means that's the ultimate there, unless they really change something up that sounds like Egon has the ultimate. And the set has 4 skills. It'll be complex, but it shouldn't be too complex. Stay Puffed is not being added, sadly. He's just going to, I guess, be left dead. Another question from the stream, because that is me, Blue Imaginite. I did stream this. If anybody wants to go back and watch the whole thing, there should be a VOD about that up on my channel. This was a question from that. Curious if there was more licensed stuff to come. They said it's a possibility. They also mentioned here that the Ghostbusters set's going in its own licensed neighborhood, and the neighborhood isn't just for them. And if the event doesn't do good, they may or may not do some more licensed stuff. They're not 100% sure. And they say they will be doing a balance between Lego content and IPs. Not sure what that balance is, but personally I really like the Lego IPs more than licensed IPs. They plan on keeping the game diverse. Don't know what all exactly that means, because I guess you could say the licensed sets are diverse, but I'd also argue that the Lego sets themselves are very diverse. How much work represents IP versus regular Lego content? There's lots more work. There's lots of things to consider. Of course, like what to go for and how to make some of these figs into figs in the game, like what should Winston's role be. They said if it's a fully Lego IP, it's easier for them to include in the game, which of course makes sense. It's just you talk to Lego and you kind of design them. But for an external IP, it can be very long and expensive. But they also mentioned here that they try to stick with sets or themes that already have existing Lego, so they can just use those models, figs, sets, all that kind of stuff, and they've already been okay to work with them. Like Scooby-Doo. But that makes sense, so you don't have to go and design entirely new figures, sets, all that kind of stuff. Let's see, and it also mentioned about this was something in regards to them, the Ghostbusters theme having some anti-spooky or anti-Ninjago synergies with them stealth. Mentioned like, okay, they do bonus damage, but what does it matter if they just dodge everything? Well, they've given that a pass, but wait for the patch notes. You're probably getting some change to the dodge mechanics. And here's some more stuff in specific about Brix. And let's see, they will share more details in the patch notes, but they've reworked the rewards. They're going to give more gold, and also add some new tiles. I wish they would just make the tiles rotating instead of just adding in some new ones. I wish you could have almost like all the tiles. Like Brutus is pretty good to have in the personally, because he's a little bit harder to get with the arena store. But I wish they had some more of that, like maybe always had one arena store fig in there, maybe some Lloyd or some Valiant, and then you just had some different other basic tier ones. Like Poppy's not that great, but if you threw in like, I don't know, Darwin or something, at least be something different, change it up. That might be a time you would kind of want them. I don't know. That's just my suggestion for them. And somebody was asking if this update allowed them to choose a different defense team for Arena than the attacker team. They said no, because they don't want to make it very defensive meta, because then you could just make a team that could never defeat your enemy, but would just stall you out and cause you to lose, which is kind of toxic. Like, it's not really that fun. Nobody likes that. They also don't like some of the stalling going on at the top levels of the arena right now. But there's going to be some kind of little fix for that in the next update, because nobody likes to fight for 5 minutes knowing they'll lose only because of timeout. You didn't lose because you couldn't defeat them, or they defeated you. They revived way too long. I'm kind of excited about that. There's some content creator news. The content creators will be hearing from WAF soon, and it might be something to do with Ghostbusters, so I might have some more information to dole out. I don't know. And this also supposed to be releasing a new content creator pack, which would be very nice, which I could really use that for creating thumbnails. And this was the thing about Ghostbusters music. This was from me. There was no audio theme this time. It was part of the licensing deal, although I guess you might have to go to another party to do that. I don't know who all owns a license for that kind of music. But they did say if you are a content creator, stay tuned for the next patch notes, because there's going to be some streamer settings. I'm not going to be copyrighted every time I do a stream of this game, which would be awesome. Then it might make some more people do some content, I don't know. And then they're also going to be having a content calendar. It's going to be just a graphic outline of different events we're going to have ahead of time, which I'm kind of looking forward to having that. Be nice to know a little bit more ahead of time what we're getting, maybe for the month, that section of update. It's about selling excess gear. You're probably not going to be able to sell it for gold. They do want to do something with extra gear, but that's not planned for the next coming updates, because they have lots on the table with Ghostbusters, then space, raids, etc. So, space and raids after Ghostbusters hype? And let's see, somebody was asking about the message box with mails about Pip Town level, because there was something talking today about in our inbox what level you had to be to qualify for doing some of the Ghostbuster event. I think 25 was the minimum, or the highest one that was to do Slimer, which you probably wouldn't be able to do that if you're just level 25. But they did say something that's being worked on is having a higher Pip Town level, so some fig level cap increases coming up soonish. Let's see, anything for guilds? Short answer is yes. Stuff coming to guilds, not this update though, but it's too early to talk about guilds right now. So guilds probably more bound time we get the raid stuff. That will be something to link. That will be somehow connected to guilds. So guild stuff, but not this update. Save teams, a bunch of exclamation marks. So yes, I don't know. I don't know what a whole bunch of exclamation marks means for answer, but maybe yes. That's about when will the next general update. Ghostbusters and MMmNN, and they're currently working on the next update for right after that. Usually there are between 6 to 8 weeks between them, so I guess keep that in mind. And the update's probably going to be about 6 to 8 weeks away after the previous one. So an update every like 2 months kind of. Somebody was asking about this, and somebody even suggested adding in some voice for the characters that don't have them right now. They would like to, but recording voices was delaying the process a lot to get them out, and they'd rather have our minifigs available sooner to our players. Hopefully they'll be back ASAP, but it's not our biggest priority right now. And also this could still be affected by the pandemic going on around right now. So like I can see they may not even be able to record voices period, but they do mention they would like to get that fixed at some point. Also, here's me asking if we can hold ad blocks to space being next, which some previous updates sounded, or previous posts sounded like space is going to be next. And here's one of the designers saying they're currently working on reworking a number of space heroes right now, and they're going to make sure Dr. Kelvin is even worse. Awesome. Here's just like some random assortment of stuff here. Of course, we're nearing the end of like all the major stuff. But people were wondering if Redbeard will always be the free daily drop. Always, they're not sure of, but for now, yes, they will be. So they might at some point change the daily login fig from Redbeard, but for right now, don't expect that to happen. And here's just me asking, will Chicken Suit Guy get the justice tag? He's all about justice. According to this dev, he deserves it, and they said they'll be thinking about it. And here's the last thing of the news. Just asked, there's a whole bunch of write-up about what's the process for creating a new fig, which somebody might find interesting, but there's lots to read through. But with that, that is it for this news update. I hope you have found this helpful. If you want to see all of the stuff that was mentioned in the update, make sure to go check out my stream of it if you want to see all of it done live. This is just my... going through and collecting all the stuff that seemed kind of relevant, interesting, and was newsworthy. So with that, I wish you a good day. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any suggestions or feedback about how to change this up for next time, feel free to leave that in the comments below. And I look forward to bringing you more news on this shortly as we get it. Stay tuned for those patch notes. Goodbye and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.